Hey, I'm Decathlon Gamer, and this is the Road to the Record, where I work to achieve mastery of 10 games in a hunt for the best score of the Decathlon. If you like what you see, remember to hit that like button. And if you want to see more, hit subscribe. Let the games begin. After promotion, our season is just about to get underway on Motorsport Manager here in the 31st week of competition. First race is going to be in Dubai, and we're just about ready to go. So a quick overview of a few things, and we'll get to that starting race. First off, nice, healthy balance right now, 41 million. And our per race cost, not too bad, just minus 1 million. Start throwing in bonuses, sponsorship bonuses, we're going to be in pretty good shape. These are also going to start taking a huge bump as we still have high marketability, high sponsorship appeal level, and we are at a new level. So these sponsorships are going to be bigger than the ones currently, like this PlaySport one. Probably going to go up next race. Okay, a couple new drivers for the team. And this is what I really hope will keep us afloat. It's going to be a difficult season as points are only awarded to the top finishers, not throughout the field. If it was throughout the field, I'd feel very confident that we can stay up. We're going to take a few decent performances, a few decent races in order to stay alive this season, and that could be challenging. But to help us along with that, we still have a very top-level pit crew. Even after moving up, only behind Haas. We have a good staff, again, only behind Haas. And a couple really good drivers, third best overall behind Haas and MP. Who we have picked up, Pascal Wehrlein, formerly of Sauber, not so long ago in Formula 1. And Nick de Vries. Nick de Vries currently races in Formula 2 for Prima Racing. And he's part of the McLaren system as one of their reserve drivers. So, two talented drivers should definitely help us overcome our other weaknesses. Sponsors right now, middle of the pack, but I expect that will go up as we start signing new sponsorships. And then all we're really hurting on is that we have the worst headquarters on the grid, but that will continue to improve over time. Especially as I switch our focus to performance upgrades, because we've done staff, we've done factory, we've done design. You can see those are doing fairly well. Our overall staff one, yeah, it's so at 8th. But performance is where we are really hurting, and all of these are going to be at great here pretty soon, so we can start making better upgrades than before. And speaking of, we have a brakes research and development facility currently under construction, and will be ready in 5 weeks' time, so just a couple of races from now. The car is the one that's really hurting, but even then, it's not the worst on the grid. It's 9th starting out, so we were in a good enough situation at the end of last season that the automatic upgrades that came with the promotion were enough to actually keep us out of last place. And you can see that the only thing that is a spec part is the engine. So everybody's actually running the same engine. And I think that actually will help keep the grid a little bit tighter, as we've seen in Formula 1. A good engine, Mercedes, can really go a long ways to keep you ahead of most of the field. You can see we're already starting work on the rear wing, and just in the little bit of time that we've spent working on the rear wing, you can already see that it's climbing out of the gutter. So I think we can get a competitive car fairly quickly. Not a good car yet, but fairly competitive, especially with very high improvability this year, just over 3.5 stars on the chassis. All right, well, let's go ahead and get to it. We only have one possible sponsorship bonus for this weekend. It's going to take 7th or above. I think that's a bit out of our reach, but of course we'll try for that. and we'll get into part fitting. And let's see what we have for the car right now. So, a lot of spec parts. And we really just have the one car. Now, De Vries is actually set up as the number 1 driver, while Pascal Wehrlein is a number 2 driver here. So De Vries has the reliability bonus everywhere that it can be, and you can see that they're pretty much on the same parts outside of the rear wing. So suspension, De Vries. Gearbox, De Vries. Front wing, De Vries. I've focused on getting one car competitive. Again, everything in this series is going to come down to those top placings. So I feel comfortable, at least in this series, in the short term, definitely focusing on one car over the second car. One advantage for Pascal Wehrlein, which actually is probably what helps keep him content at the moment, is he's got the better performance on the rear wing. But I really didn't feel comfortable giving De Vries a 60% reliable rear wing and potentially have him losing that. I'd rather have him see out the race. With every part better than 70%, hopefully De Vries will be able to make it through the race without any parts going down, and there should be, in the first race of the year, a number of drivers that will see some issues. Potentially Pascal Wehrlein could have multiple parts that he's going to have to pit to repair. All right, so this is Formula 2. However, due to complications with the mod creating issues with the videos due to a certain company's logo reappearing again and again during the load screen that we just saw. In order to avoid that, we had to revert back away from the mod. All that has really done, though, is replaced the name back as Asia Pacific Super Cup. In terms of things like the driver that I have on my team, both drivers that I have on my team, that all stayed. I'm not going to do any weight stripping, as we are definitely not in the shape we need to be in. Luckily, I have high feedback from both of these guys, so that should help. We've got a pretty good chassis this year. Not quite maxed out, but pretty close to it. We only saved a little bit of money on the chassis. And we're definitely going to have to increase the downforce. Whoa. Okay, this has got to be a practice set of tires, right? This can't be for the whole weekend, can it? Do we only get 9 sets of tires for the whole weekend? It's really not a big deal. I'm definitely going to go with the soft approach. I don't know on the rules whether I'm going to need to... Oh, that's going to be... I don't know if we have to change to 2 different sets of tires over the course of the race or not. On that lower category, that was never an issue. I didn't have to change tires. You couldn't make it through the race without changing tires once, but it didn't matter that you changed to different types of tires. Okay, so we have 15 minutes for practice, quite a bit more than we had in that lower category. And interesting setup for the race here. As you can see, this large extension of the track with a tunnel or bridge. Okay, I'm going to get both cars out there. Now with strong feedback, I shouldn't have as much trouble here. Oh, one of them's on qualifying trim and race trim. Okay, I am back. It's been a while. I haven't had qualifying for a long time, so I've forgotten that I have to change the setup from one to the other. So I've got one car out on the qualifying trim, one car out on the race trim. Getting the bonuses for both is important. However, the race trim is the most important, as I certainly don't have a car that's going to qualify terribly well. We also have a little bit of a new look to the car this year, but otherwise it's still pretty similar. Track and the car actually blend perfectly together with the beginnings of the runoff area in a similar green. Alright, so both cars are on their first hot lap of the year, and unlike last season, with this little bit of a longer practice session, I don't mind getting a lap in, because then I can start to get some feedback from the drivers that will help narrow down the search for the perfect setup on the weekend. Also, in running those laps, I can help get the bonuses in, but I've still got to make sure, above all, that we do get our setup right, more than anything else. Those bonuses will certainly help, though. Alright, both cars are about to finish their first hot lap of our team's career at the second tier of the single-seater series. And they got the best times at the moment, but that's going to quickly change as they were the first two cars to cross. We're going to be bringing both of them in this time, even though DeVries was on the race trim. And we're not the slowest, so there's already one thing. I very much expected to have the slowest car starting out for a while. Nearly half a second up on Devesa. Set a camera. So quite a few current Formula 2 drivers. Let's see, Delatraz is, Alman is, Galale is, DeVries is, and here come my drivers. Let me focus on them for a little bit. Alright, not too far off on the downforce, that's good. 86% for the first time out. Isn't too awful. We've still got 9.5 minutes to get it right. So small adjustment here, and nothing is bad. So that's definitely good. I would figure there are a fair amount of straights. I think we should be able to push this way a little. We'll try speed balance towards top speed first. And of course the handling is going to need an adjustment as well, so this is going to take a little while, this pit stop. Okay, and you're set to the qualifying trim. 10 seconds to switch over to the race trim. Let's keep them on the qualifying trim for now. They can both work towards those upgrades. We'll at least get one level done here with Verline, and then we'll switch over next time out. Okay, and DeVries is in. And even though he's only 83%, everything is good, so shouldn't have too much trouble honing this in. So we'll try adding a little more downforce. And I suppose we'll go the same way as we did. Okay, staying on the race trim. Boy, for 3 laps on those tires, that's quite a bit of tire wear already. Alright, so both cars back out on track. Let's speed this thing along a little bit. Yeah, based on time, I think we're okay for the moment. Okay, they are running their hot lap now. Uh, 5.5 minutes. That's actually not a lot of time left. Both cars definitely coming in this time. There we go, we'll get them around. And with limited time, they're going to be going out and coming right back in next time until we get this set up right. So we're not going to get too much further, though we will get to level 3 on the soft tires at least. Alright, Verlaine, we did well there. We are very close, 94%. So handling speed balance just right. Downforce was great before, good now. So we need to go back the other direction. Okay, if that was great, this is good. That should be just about right. However, why did we see a change here? I didn't want to change on those. There we go. Alright, now, qualifying trim's not too far off from getting maxed out, so I suppose we'll just keep it the same. So we'll send him back out. Here comes DeVries. Not so good here, only 88%. Okay, so he was good right between the D and O, which means if we're going to get him, we need to get him all the way over to maybe the N. There we go. And we were good. Now, great. That actually could be the right amount of adjustment there. Keep him on the race trim, and away we go. Alright, level 3 on soft tires, which is awesome. Yeah, I think Verlaine's good to go. DeVries, I'm not sure about. So, we're going to bring in DeVries this time. Make any final adjustments if we need to. I might just change tires and see if we can't get level 1, but we'll see how long that would take. There's only a minute and a half out there. He's only going to get 1 lap around, which will not be enough time. Okay, and sure enough, even though we're up to 93%, it's still not there yet, especially the speed balance going the wrong way. So good, great, back down to good. So probably to the L right here. Okay, handling's excellent. Downforce is great. That was good. This is great. Did we go a hair too far, maybe? Probably. Okay, I think that'll about do it. Stay on the race trim, and I think it's too late to change the tires. Because, how much time? Oh, it's only 2 more seconds? Okay, well in that case, we'll change the tires. Maybe we can get level 1 on those. Alrighty, let's see. It looks like qualifying's about to hit level 3. Oh, level 2 qualifying trim. Okay, we at least got to level 2 on the qualifying trim. And we're out of time. And we got the setup just right on DeVries. That's excellent. There was that logo flash that I was talking about. In terms of time, Verline was 15th, De Vries was 20th. Of course, he was running. They were both running soft tires, and De Vries was running race trim setup the whole time. So, and even then, there was only about 4/10 of a second between them. And to the top, from first to last, we're only talking about a second. So, field's going to be pretty tight, actually. Nice. Thank you, Fan Bossy. We have a crazy awesome driver lineup this season. Hashtag Amazeballs. Alright, so target is 7th or above, and here we are for the first time in this series as we've finally gotten promoted to Tier 2 that has qualifying. So this is my first partake in qualifying. Alright, and we have... Well, that's going to have to do. We didn't get to the level 1 bonus on Super Soft, so we'll have to go with the soft bonus. Not that that's going to do us any good whatsoever today, as we will obviously be running Super Softs. I did get to the level 2 bonus for qualifying trim at least, so there is a 10% bonus. Both cars are sweetly tuned. Ooh. Can I weight strip for qualifying? Yeah, I'm not going to mess with that. Alright, we have 10 minutes for qualifying. 10 minutes. Ooh, wow, look at that. We don't have extra tires. So apparently we only get 9 sets of tires for the whole weekend, or is that for practice and qualifying? I suppose we'll find out when we get to... Alright, so clear air optimization. We want to get the brake temps and the tire temps just right. Now, strategy-wise, they start off conservative, but they will change that as they run their hot lap automatically. Okay, you are not getting hot. There we go. Into the yellow. Not too far away. This is that point where we want to be locked in. And they are getting close. You need to step it up a bit. Okay, we got perfect. A little bit overheated on the brakes. And for De Vries, perfect on the brakes. A little underheated on the tire temps. Not too bad for our first attempt. Hopefully they get out in front of these guys coming out of the pits. See, not De Vries, but Verline. Verline's coming in with some nice form at the moment, 8.3. This could be an issue, though. Whoever that is might be in our way a little bit. Definitely affecting our clean air. Could be affecting our lap a little bit. Alright, so not the greatest time at the moment, but first sector, Verline's only about a 1/10 of a second down. De Vries, though, almost 2.5 seconds down on the first sector, so not looking so good there. Alright, so now Verline, in comparison, this is to NATO's lap. He is half a second down. And De Vries, less than half a second now. So De Vries picked up really good second sector. Okay. And in the end, De Vries picks up a bunch of time on NATO. Look at that. Only just a tiny margin off. Verline a bit further back than that. So Verline gained a little bit of time. De Vries gained a ton of time on the back half of the lap. De Vries less than a 1/10 of a second off. Trying to remember how to say his name. Galil. There we go. Galil. That's how they say it on TV. Let's see. I never did finish going over who's Formula 2 drivers currently. Albon, Set a Camera, Delatraz. see. Is Mazepin? I think it might be one of the rear drivers. Galliel, of course. So, great time from De Vries. He's right now 5th. Verline, we definitely need to get back out there, and I'll get him out there right away. Right away. Wow. I guess that's 3 laps. But 2 of those running cold. Only 1 hot lap. And he burns him that much? Alright, it's only going to leave 2 pairs of super softs. Wow, 2 seconds for the change? Okay, so Verline's going to get back out there. De Vries, I'm going to leave in for now. He's got an excellent time. And I can stagger these starts. Try to get the setup just right. Keeping an eye on corners can definitely affect, because the brake temps are going to increase as you get to the corners. Tire temps can increase steadily on the straights a bit more. So here's a heavy braking section, so if I take it easy through here, you can see the brake temps are going to cool. I can heat up here the tire temps on the straight, but we can cool this off through the corners. There you go. Get them a little bit closer together. Still more heavy braking, still heavy braking. I gotta get those tire temps up. I have no straightaways here. Come on. Okay, neither one of them are in the good zone, but they're both fairly close, so nothing perfect here. We'll see how this does for Verline this time. That end of the course is very difficult for trying to get those tire temps and brake temps just right. Because after this section here, there's no straight. So all of this, it's all just constant cornering. Alright, so Verline, 0.2 of a second off now at the first sector, and of course now that everybody's run a lap, that's off of Graham Rahal's time. And he was, what, half a second down overall, so 0.2 not very good at this point, and he's down this time on the middle sector, so he was faster on his first sector than the last lap out, slower in sector 2, and slower overall. He's going to have to be faster than Rahal right now in order to improve his time here. I don't think that's going to happen. It did not. He loses 1/10 of a second. Okay, let's get De Vries out there. Oh, he's not going to make it. 30 seconds. I waited too long, so I should have had De Vries running his warm-up lap while Verline was running his hot lap. But not bad. De Vries is going to start 6th, possibly. There's a couple cars. In fact, all 3 cars, 7, 8, 9, are all running better laps than they had previously through 2 sectors, so they're probably going to improve. Ooh, De Vessa improves a little, but still behind De Vries. Okay, De Vries does drop 1 spot, 2 spots. Possibly 8th. Peugeot moves up 2. Wow, all the way up to 2nd he does. Okay, just back markers now. King moves up to 10th, but behind De Vries. Alessi, the only one left on the track, and they'll start 18th. So, 9th and 16th in our first qualifying session. De Vries, it was only 1 lap. Verline ran twice. You can see the whole field is still within about a second. Which means we could have a pretty close race here. Unlike the other series that would commonly be spread out by a few seconds within laps. Yeah, if everybody's that close, running about a second away from each other, that could lead to some pretty close racing throughout the season. Okay, now I still have the big question of tires. I don't know what I can do, and the rules aren't available here currently. Okay, track grip looks, of course, it should be dry. Okay, so soft tires, race trim. I wish that race trim would have gotten to level 2. It came up just short. Do we want to take 50% faster pit stops? Yeah, I'll take the bonus. That's 20% overall. Plan to run on the softs. Those super softs are only lasting a few laps, so the softs are much longer lifespan on them. Okay, so we have 17 laps worth of fuel. Session length is 21 laps. So you can't quite make it on the fuel load. So we will need a little bit of fuel. And let's see here. Look back at that for a second. What does it think the length is? 13 to 15 laps, which probably means more like 10. And it's a 21 lap race. So if we can make it to a one stopper and keep softs on, that would be awesome. If we have to switch to super softs by rule, we might be in trouble. Which might make a two stopper. If it is a two stopper, we'd want the fuel at the end and not the first time. No weight stripping today. Don't want to run the cars too hard, but we want to get a good start, especially if the cars are very close to one another. And Verline, we're going to want to get off that fuel burn almost immediately. After the first few turns anyway, because he's not going to have the car to make it to the end of the race due to wear and tear. Alright, let's get to it. We don't have a whole lot of time here, so we're on Verline in 16th. Let's go ahead and check in on DeVries here for the start of the race, a little bit higher up the grid. Okay, pretty solid start, but he checks up as the car in front of him gets a little bit of a slow start, knocks him back 2 places, regains 1 on the first corner, but gets undercut by a couple other cars and drops back to 12th. Boy, he's had some bad positioning through those first few turns. Verline not looking much better. He's back in 16th here at the start. Alright, Verline, chance to make up a couple positions? No. Alright, so for Verline, 3 wide. Oh, and that does not pay off for Verline. It drops him back. He's all the way down to 19th now. Alright, well, in that case, let's back off. DeVries looking to make up a position here around the outside. Can almost make it 2, but instead he ends up dropping back, going the long way around. And he's in 11th at the end of the first lap. Okay, so Verline, we're going to settle him down. And DeVries. Likewise, we need to settle down, settle into this race. Again, I am not sure on the rules here on whether I'm going to need to switch tires or whether I can stick with the softs throughout the race. If I can stick with the softs, I think I can get away with a single stop. Alright, so Verline currently in last place. DeVries is mid-pack though, in 11th. And let's speed things up for a little while. Gotta keep an eye on the tire temps. It looks like they're still increasing a bit, possibly. DeVries drops a place, 12th now. 18 laps left of the 21 that we started with. De Vries a bit off the pace already. Tire wear is pretty heavy. Both cars are already down around 75%, just a few laps in. Alright, so De Vries seems to be holding on to 12th place here. Verline, sadly, is holding on to last. You can see just how tight the field is, so pit stops are going to be really important. There's only a few seconds between De Vries and Verline, even though it's mid-pack to last place. Here's De Vries in with a chance for a pass. Can't complete it though. They're at 61% now. Okay, so it's lap 8. First pit stop's already starting. A few more cars coming in. I would like to get through 11 laps if I can. It's lap 9 now. Verline's still in the back of the pack of those who have not pit yet. A couple more cars coming in this time. Lap 10 now. This might be the time to bring in one car. Verline's a little bit lower on the tire wear, and I might bring him in this lap, and De Vries the next lap. That would mean the other tires can go the distance. Warning, you did not have enough fuel. Doesn't say anything about the tires though. Okay, that would make enough fuel. And no warning about tires. Okay, condition, not looking so hot for Verline, but okay, he's might make it. Right around 40% on all the parts. 8 seconds for the stop. How big of a difference would it make? 1 second to push it. A couple more seconds to remove all risk. Estimated position after pit stop is 16th right now, so quality pit stop can move him up naturally 4 places. That could be a huge boost. Alright, so we'll bring him in this time, and then hopefully Verline can go the distance with 11 laps on his final stint. This was just 10, but you look at the wear, it's 33%. He ran a lap on high intensity, which means he burned through tires a bit faster. So I think he's got a real shot of hanging on till the end of the race. And De Vries will have to come in this next lap. Good pit stop, enough fuel to go the distance, and he's heading back out. Short pit lane there. And he does come out ahead of quite a few cars. So quick pit stop. So our good pit crew could make a real difference this season. De Vries is in 3rd at the moment. We'll be coming in this lap. And same thing, we need to give him enough fuel to go the distance. It's 4 laps worth. And part condition looking quite a bit better, though that rear wing's only at 44%. 8 seconds for him as well. His estimated position is 11th. Maybe I should push it. If I push it, no, it's still 11th. What if we take it easy? Okay, we'll keep it balanced. Alright. Use whatever you got left in those things. Okay, so he's going to pit from third. Graham Rahal, the only one on Super Softs at the moment. Markelov, that is another Formula 2 racer, Markelov. He's doing some repairs. Alright, Verline overtakes Graham Rahal, and look at that, both cars kind of back together now, and running 10th and 11th after those pit stops. And there are still 6 cars that have not pit yet. So this could be a massive boost. So it looks like our way to the front in these races is definitely going to be through pit stops, as we have a really, really good pit crew. And it's making a massive difference. Okay, 9 laps remaining. Rahal is on Super Softs, but Verline did get past him, so I don't know if there was a mistake there. 35 seconds behind. Mazepin's definitely not going to drop behind De Vries, but he should be able to get ahead of a couple of those guys. 20-second difference, maybe these 2, 3, 4 cars. And so far, all 6 are staying out. So there's a good chance they could be trying to go for Super Softs and extend their stints long enough for that. Okay, Vries has that little bit extra. Conditions looking good. I'm going to push him a little bit. He does have some excess fuel, and this would be a good chance to maybe pick up a position or 2 on those pitting. And most of those cars are in right now. Only 2 stayed out, 4 are in. Chance for both cars to move ahead. Verline, you know, car's actually hanging on. I'm excited by the fact that he's been able to hang on. And yes, both cars move up. De Vries is up to 7th. Verline is 8th. I think you need to be top 6 for points, which means the sponsor objective is nice, but 1 more position would be nicer. Mazepin is so far ahead that I think Mazepin will stay near the top, at least podium places. Jorg is back a ways though. I think both cars can probably get ahead of Jorg, and we would have a chance at a point in the first race of the season. That'd be phenomenal. Okay, I do not want to risk the tires right now, so Verline, if Rahal gets around him, Rahal gets around him. Rahal's tires are burning off a lot faster, and we might be able to repass him at the end. If he does get ahead of us, those cars are in now, and we get past not one, but both. So we are up to 5th and 6th. Everybody has made their stops, and looks like they're going to be going the distance, and both cars are in the points. So Verline hanging on to likely 1 point, while De Vries is going to pick up 2. 3 points in the Constructors' Championship in our first race would be life-saving, because I figured it might only take about 6 points the whole season to make sure to avoid relegation. And we're into the danger zone on the rear wing now at 20% with 5 laps to go. Ignore, but let's calm you down a little bit. You're also at 68%. Meanwhile, though, De Vries, looking in on him. Car's holding up pretty well. That rear wing's only at 35%, but I think he'll be just fine. He put in a good 3rd sector. Best of the race for him there. to keep an eye on Verline as we push towards the end, and let's speed things up a little bit, as not much is happening at the moment other than 2 cars running 5th and 6th. Verline is hanging on to that lead over Rahal, and actually it looks like he's starting to stretch it out a little bit, about a half a second ahead of him. Rahal is now to that point where those tires are pretty toast, and that was what I was counting on towards the end of this race here. With 4 laps remaining now, I will turn up the pressure from De Vries here in a little bit. I want to wait till the last few laps to do so. Oh, something's happened. Pole sitter Savanin is got a mechanical. He's heading to the pits, and we are taking advantage. Verline just hanging on himself, but both cars move up. Albin also pitting, so Albin is having a pit, and now we inherit 3rd and 4th. We have a potential podium. And checking back in on De Vries, he's not too far behind Alessi, under 2 seconds between them, and I just saw some sort of notification as we caught a brief glimpse of him. He might be stopping. So De Vries has enough to push it, and yes, there is a mechanical on the car ahead. He is not pitting though, but can we take advantage? Just under 2 seconds is the gap. Verline hanging on with Graham Rahal behind. Rahal also having mechanical issues on the day. He still might not finish the race himself, which is why I'm not willing to push it. But with just 2 laps to go, we potentially have 2 cars in the points, comfortably 3rd and 4th, if Verline can finish. De Vries also having a little bit of issues at this point, but only minor. I think De Vries will be fine getting to the end. Verline, I'm not so sure. Can he make it another lap and a half? We'll see. De Vries and Alessi, the gap is opening a little bit, so he's not gaining on him. Should back off as he is having some problems, but we can probably attack with the tire wear. Verline might be able to attack here in a moment. Just over a lap to go. Let's go ahead and do that. Oh man, that's worrying though. Maybe not. Just push. Just push. Alright, we're into the final lap, and the gap has really opened up. Rahal, yeah, he's plummeting. So he's having a problem. De Vries, meanwhile, only a second down now on Alessi, hanging on possible podium in our first race in the Asia Pacific Super Cup, also known as F2. And they've really closed the gap on Peugeot as well, whose tires are totally toast, and he's having a mechanical. De Vries, go, 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 push, push, push. Come on, second place. Second place. And there he goes, into second. 1 corner left to get around. A finish line to reach. And Nick De Vries, first race out. Not only a podium, but second place. And Pascal Verline, with all kinds of problems, just coming to the end. Let's check the condition of that car. Look at that. Outside of the engine. And even the suspension's just barely hanging on. All kinds of reds and yellow warnings all over the place. But Pascal Verline makes it to the end of the race in 4th place, and Nick De Vries in 2nd. And our first race in the series. Cars might not be very good, and I think that'll show more in the later races. We've got a good factory. We made good work of getting the cars functioning right away, but I think we're going to be just fine in this series. It looks like we are not running major risk in getting relegated. That's going to be some really, really valuable points for the season right off the bat. So I'm out of time, but that does it for this episode. I'm Decathlon Gamer, and remember, I'm aiming for the best of the best. So if you're ready to join me on my journey, hit subscribe, and tune in next time on my road to the record. Bye for now.